Hey everyone, it is Yabat Matt here. We are about a half hour, just a little under a half hour, 29 minutes away from the Rebellion pre-sale. Thanks for joining us, everybody here, to kind of, celebrate the pre-sale and talk about the upcoming set, the new mechanics, whatever stuff people want to hear about. We have the illustrious Nate on the call to hopefully give us some eye candy and some goodies there. And then we have Call Me Tim, who is really the architect here behind this whole set, from kind of every aspect, from managing the development, working with creative, the card stat design, coming up with the new mechanics and how they work, and the new abilities and everything. So this should be a good opportunity to hear it, straight from the source. I am no longer the direct source of all these things anymore. We have a team that is, in my opinion, doing a better job than I ever did in the past at delivering cool stuff. So you'll get to hear from them here. Call Me Tim. I think you click speak on stage on Discord to come on as a speaker there. It's should be at the bottom of the main stage area. So we're going to kind of give everybody a few minutes here to shuffle in to the audience before we kind of get into the real meat and potatoes of this. So I'm going to ramble on a little bit for a couple minutes to buy some time. But, obviously the Rebellion pre-sale is what's going live today in about 27 minutes. So that means you'll be able to purchase packs. You'll be able to transfer them. You'll be able to sell them. But you won't be able to open them or start using the new cards or any of the new mechanics until the general sale and the Rebellion release, which is scheduled for December 5th. So we have about a month and a half before you'll actually be able to put these guys to use. The benefit, however, of buying during the pre-sale versus waiting for the set to be released is that there's multiple benefits. First and foremost, there are not one but two promo cards that are going to be available for purchasers during the pre-sale stage. There is the legendary Mantaroth and a rare Grimbarden Smith card. You can see the stats of those in the shop on the Splinterlands website right now. So the legendary will kind of work similar to the legendary promo airdrop cards from previous pre-sales, like Dr. Blight. But we also added the rare Grimbarden Smith that's much more easy for players to get. So you just have to buy 10 packs during the pre-sale. For every 10 packs, you will be guaranteed one Grimbarden Smith card. So a lot more players can participate and get some extra benefits by participating in the pre-sale. Not just the whales, but there's more. There's going to be a leaderboard, so you can kind of compete with each other to see who purchases the most packs during the pre-sale period. The top 6 people that place on the leaderboard are going to help design one of the legendary summoner cards for the set. That's been, the legendary summoners since beta have kind of been the main draw of most of our sets, from Prince Renin to Yodin and Llama to Astral Entity and the ones in Chaos Legion. And I think it's hard to say for sure, but I feel like the legendary summoner cards in this set, which has new mechanics and things specifically focused on summoners, might even go above and beyond the excitement of things like Yodin and Llama and Biz Kitty here. Hopefully the balance will be a little better than those cards. But the general new things that they bring that you can only get from those legendary summoners should hopefully elevate them, and just the whole set in general. I think opening a pack and getting one of those guys is going to be a really big deal. And the top 6 people or accounts who purchase during the pre-sale are going to get to design those characters. So that could be your design, obviously working with Nate and our design team in tandem. But that could be kind of your character on that card, the biggest card of this set. And then in addition to that, we didn't want it to just be the top 6 people, which is out of reach to most people, including myself, probably. So we also have exclusive titles. So the top 30 people that place in the pre-sale leaderboard are going to get the Dawnbringer title, which I actually said on I forget what the show is called. There was a show that I did on Monday night with Bebe Omega and Steve R82. And, I said I was planning to buy 2,000 packs, which is, I got my DEC ready to go to buy the 2,000 packs. But, I kind of forgot about the titles thing a little bit. So now I'm like, well, let me see what it takes to get into the top 30, because I do kind of want that Dawnbringer legendary title to go with one of my land plots there. Although I still think I'm keeping the Burninator title in game. I don't think you can beat that one. But ranks 31 to 100 on the leaderboard will get the Defiant title, and ranks 101 to 250 on the leaderboard are going to get the Rebel title. So, I think there'll be pretty good opportunity for a lot of players to get into at least the top 250 on the leaderboard, pick up one of those titles. Titles have been, pretty valuable. They're relatively rare in the game. They're very useful on land. So I think that's a pretty big bonus for buying during the presale. Obviously, we have 4 really cool new abilities, but the super exciting thing for the set is the Summoner Tactics, which I know we've talked about a lot. But like I said, I'm buying some time to get some more people. Everyone have a chance to get in the stream before I turn it over to the real crew here, Nate and Call Me Tim, to talk a little bit more about it. But the Summoner Tactics, as I've mentioned a bunch of times, in my opinion, is really just taking the game to where it needs to be as far as like engagement, player agency, and gameplay. We've already been planning to do that for a long time with items and spells for land, but we were able to get it in earlier through this in a small way. Obviously, items and spells are still going to add to this a lot, but in a small way, players are going to be able to start testing out this new mechanic using the new Rebellion summoners. So having play tested a bit myself on our QA environments, it adds so much more fun and interesting mechanics to the gameplay. I'm really super excited about it, and I hope that it also gets players even more excited than you already are for land. And kind of the real ultimate value behind land is these new type of cards in the game. So I'll stop rambling for now. We're almost 10 minutes into the stream. You want Call Me Tim, do you want to jump on first and talk about the card design a little bit?
Yep, sure. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, cool. You said a lot already, right? Like, so we can talk about the new abilities, which I think the new abilities are going to be really interesting. We've already talked about multi-element summoning, which is going to be really interesting. We talked about that a little bit more, and tactics. All those mechanics, I think, are going to take this set to kind of new level of interactivity, level of agency for players. So I'm really hoping it really makes the game even more engaging and rewards clever play in figuring out how to leverage these abilities to the fullest extent. But also, we're just looking at just kind of the set overall and balancing and trying to set ourselves up for not just this set, but kind of sets to follow. So you'll see some more subtle pushes that will kind of telegraph, I think, where we're going to be going with the sets, not just in Rebellion, but in the future going forward. Mostly around balancing, but also really focusing on trying to give each element its own identity and things that it's particularly good at, and especially being able to marry the things that one element's good with another element that's good at something else. Again, I think it will bring some new tactics and more player agency to the game.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to talk a little bit about the process you went through to do all this? Because I feel it was a lot more involved than the process I had gone through in the past, and hopefully that will eventually show through, when the set's released.
Yeah, I think it was really more building on what you had already done before, but trying to double down in some areas with having the extra kind of capacity and time to be able to do so. So, I mean, it's a very statistic kind of driven approach for a lot of the balancing. It's looking at which abilities are available, at which levels, at which leagues, how prominently they're available, kind of stat distributions, and just kind of making sure that where there are holes, they're intended to be holes. Where there are gaps, they're intended to be gaps. because those holes and gaps lead for, again, more interesting decisions and tactics. So, process is just a very iterative, refining process. It's looking at a lot of the data of what we have already, thinking about where we want to go with mechanics and statistics, and then figuring out how to kind of incrementally get there, because modern obviously can't dramatically change because Chaos Legion is a very big part of modern. So figuring out how to blend kind of, again, where we're going with what Chaos Legion already has, and to make it feel not disjoint, but also, again, allows us to kind of set the stage for the future. And I think it'll be a very interesting meta environment after Rebellion releases.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, and I mean, I think a lot of the player base knows, but for those of you who don't, a reminder, like in the past, a lot of the sets, the card stats, I mean, it was a pretty rushed process. I feel like we've been always behind for the 8-ball for a long time, and I did most of the stats for the cards. I really focused mostly on max level, just because I didn't have the time or resources to do much else, and that's where I myself played in the game. And I didn't do this type of statistical approach, of all the abilities at all the different levels or leagues that we're doing now. So it's really exciting to me to see how much better. And I feel like those sets still came out pretty darn well, one way or another. But I'm excited to see how we can take that to even the next level, and maybe we'll look back and be like, wow, in comparison, the previous sets kind of sucked from a balance perspective, and from like cool, stats on the cards at all levels that really work out compared to Rebellion, and also, like Call Me Tim was saying, we're also looking forward. So it's not just like, crap, we need to get 100 new card stats out in the next month, and that's that. We've been really thinking ahead with the creative team. Also, the creative team is always thinking, way ahead. Sometimes too much ahead, perhaps. But what do we want to do in future
too
sets?
Too much.
Never, Nate. I'm just joking. But like there. I don't even know. Maybe you have ideas of what even the future sets after Rebellion might be called, but I don't know. But we've been planning ahead, and when I say we, I don't mean me. I mean Nate and Call Me Tim and the other team members. Of like, okay, well, we might want to have these cool new things in future sets, and at some point, Chaos Legion's also going to be out of modern. It's going to be replaced, and we want Rebellion to like seamlessly fit into what we want to do in the future. And I just like. I have never been in a position really with Splinterlands to plan that much, and not rush things out until now. So I'm extra excited to see how that ends up shaking out. With that in mind, did you have something? If you guys want to jump in with something, just jump in and cut me off, because I'll keep rambling otherwise. But I was going to turn it over to the illustrious Nate to see if he had anything he wants to share. Whatever you want to do, Nate, dazzle us.
Oh, whatever I want to do.
Whatever you want to do.
No, I would say that for all the reasons I already explained, Rebellion's going to be absolutely incredible. Just the as people did a cutbacks, or due to bear market, or due to people not wanting to see certain features or specific updates as quickly or sooner as people would like. I think that sometimes people get the wrong idea that that somehow the train has stopped, or that we've gone backwards, or not at all. I mean, I can attest to the fact that Bob and Biz have been working hard to make sure that all the balancing and all the considerations and all the analytical stuff that needs to make this this set really just engage is all that work is happening. It's been happening. Same thing with art direction and frames and all that. Those of you with us a year ago with Splinterfest knew, like what Matt pointed out. We've been working towards this for a while now. At no point did the train stop. I realize that, sometimes people don't see what's happening behind the scenes, and so they make certain assumptions about well, nothing's happening. It's like that meme where you got the stick and the guy's like poking it, like, do something. It's like, well, first of all, it seems like we've been doing quite a bit. Like we constantly do updates, like every week, every couple weeks, and there's been huge advances made in our ecosystem. Some of them are DeFi related, and now that we're finally getting around to like, okay, we built this infrastructure, this foundation of strong Web3 DeFi tokenomics. Now let's start looking at the gameplay, and I think that we probably caught people by surprise. We're probably like, yeah, with Rebellion, we're adding new game accounts. They're like, what? That might have came out of left field, and I think that's only served to create more positive sentiment. So no, when I look at the test server and I see everything Bob and Biz have been working on, and same thing with Melon Man, with Ulid and all the devs involved. Antioch has been working on the pre-sale page, and Cryptomancer is starting hard work with the conflict stuff. I mean, the team is really not just getting the job done, but passionately so. Like, I think even on a meeting earlier today, we were talking about, well, when can we expect conflicts? And we're like, well, as soon as possible. And it's like, it's not like we're trying to like, drag our feet. We're like, Matt made a point earlier in an internal team meeting earlier. It's like, look, chances are you guys are going to go fast because you want to play this too. And that's true. It is so true. Like, most of the team members are players, and we work passionate and hard and try to get this stuff done as beautifully and as fast as we can, because we, honest to God, are creating a game that we want to play ourselves. And sometimes I think that gets lost, perhaps by the players or otherwise. We are players too. So with that in mind, I'll share a little bit. I'm trying to find something cool. Well, I just finished talking about conflicts. We could talk about that because I think that's directly related to perhaps the pre-sale, as we're like 13 minutes away from the timer hitting 0. I want to point out the fact that a big benefit to the pre-sale, huge benefit, is grabbing up the promo cards, sure, and the leaderboard prizes and all that stuff. But a really big benefit in my mind is also, just like a couple days ago, I was trying to get my dark energy crystals and my vouchers in the game. And I was doing that with my family. And we were like trying to prepare in advance, 2 days in advance, to make sure everything's in line so that when the pre-sale goes live, we can push the buy button. Same thing for the general sale, because when the general sale happens, are you going to have all the cards ready? What if we are able to pull off conflicts launch right when the general sale starts? No promises there, but if we can do it, we're going to do it. And so will you have the cards ready to put in your battle wagons and go to war with the heroes of the rebellion? Are you going to be able to take advantage of getting that progress bar moving? And so Tyler, who is, I think, HTT on Discord, has been working hard on trying to get the designs for that out. You saw some of that on the announcement post, but I could share a little bit more refinement. I think this is a refined version of some of the UI for that. And, for those of you who look at that and look at the original announcement post, you might have noticed maybe there's some tinkering here and there. It might look slightly different. What we haven't shared yet is the, I guess, once the pre-sale's over and the general sale is starting, how do I claim my promo cards? Like, what do I do? And Tyler's been making sure that there's something to kind of like easily identify on that page. Hey, look, up here at the top, pre-sale promo cards. There's a leaderboard, so you can review who got the top spots in case you forget. You can claim. You see Mantroth and the Grimbardoon Smith up there, ready to be claimed. So, and I'm still reviewing. I mean, these are all subject to change, of course, but I'm still reviewing the claim page and all these other child screens that are related to that. But bottom line is, we're working hard, man. We're trying to get this stuff done. What else we got here? I think when it comes to tactics, we're playing with like, how's that going to look? How can we make that look as polished as possible? Some of the, I hesitate to even share this, but because this is very rough draft. This is very rough, but we're trying to make it so that, again, no promises. This might not even make it in, but eventually sometime, I mean, people keep saying Battles 2.0. How can we improve the production quality? How can we make it so that we are very proud to share links on social media and otherwise? How do we get our friends and family to look at the game and be impressed by it, and not apologize for maybe the way it looks, because it hasn't changed much in 5 years. It still looks very similar to what we launched with. And so this might be an opportunity to kind of work a little bit on that. What I'd like to see, and again, no promises, is something to where the arena feels more like a battle mage arena, not for a scene from Gladiator where it's dusty and dirty and bones in the corner and people are screaming because they're like shield and armor and weaponry. These are two mages squaring off. There's magic in the air. There's runes. There's wards to protect the spectators. So if a fireball goes the wrong way, no one gets hurt. So in that regard, we might start off nice and easy before we embellish and refine and iterate to make it look more and more polished. But, this is kind of like a prototype of, some of the tinkering that we're doing. We are also working on backgrounds so that, it looks more and more like an arena. Maybe we can finally get to animation at some point. These are all wild, crazy. When Matt says creative's thinking way in advance, that's true. Maybe we do it too much. But we do try to prepare all the artwork, all the vector and raster artwork and the imagery and everything that we prototype or visualize or conceptualize is all with, hey, can this be animated? Hey, can we support this with sound effects and music and this and that? Can we do this? Can we do that? And even though we might not do it right away, rest assured that through the pipeline, through the design and development stages, we're preparing for that. In case the opportunity arises where we do have the time and resources invested, well, cool. It's all ready to go. It's been rigged for animations, been prepped accordingly. We just need the green light when the time comes. And so just know that, the creative is very much interested in making sure that potentially starting with the Rebellion set, maybe not initially at launch, but somewhere along the way, while Rebellion is being sold in the shop, we are going to try as hard as we can to try to increase production quality more and more and more until everyone looks at it and goes, ooh, that's amazing. This is a result of Bob. Bob looked at the corrosive ward ability icon. We did end up changing it. For those of you curious, it's probably going to look like this. I'll share that right here. I'll get the appropriate graphic imagery over to the community folder so that people can take a look at that. But originally, I think it was an axe coming, and Bob was like, well, it doesn't really affect your weapon, and he's right. So we went back to the drawing board, and since corrosive ward really affects armor, we thought that makes sense. So we had and made that little tweak. So before the general sale hits and you see these abilities in the game, don't be shocked when you see, well, what the heck is that icon? Well, we told you. What are some other cool things? Something that was shared recently in social media, which I'm going to give the more ultra version, is a scene which really sets the stage for the Rebellion. It's an alleyway. There's a rough, not a hoodlum, but he's down on his luck. Maybe he's an orphan. Maybe he lost his parents due to the big chaos invasion. Regardless of what his backstory is, you could see that the city Legion guards are coming at him. They're approaching him probably with malice and malice. Chances are this kid is probably either going to be killed or sent to the jail. And it's no surprise why, because behind him, he seems rather proud of the fact is inscribed the word Vonok. And that word, I think, really more than anything else, sets the stage for what we're trying to do here with Rebellion. The Splinterlands have been invaded. They have been conquered. They have been subjugated, and they are currently oppressed. 5 years later, there are whispers. There are people grumbling, and for the first time in thousands and thousands of years, all the numerous splinters and factions and different groups who were at odds with each other have decided to kind of like come together against a common threat, which is this empire, which is Silas the Rift, which is his second in command, Mantaroth, that Minotaur, one of the legendary promo card during the pre-sale, which you can only get during the pre-sale, by the way. And Vonok, meaning together we rise in the Praetorian common language, that really sets the stage, not just for the fictional world building we're doing, but I think also it is just it's very I don't know. I don't want to call it coincidence. I think it's fate that at this point in our company's history and our community's history, and during this bear market and during the rough, hits to the face and punches to the gut that we've taken over the last year or two, I think we all see, the bearish sentiments are kind of starting to fade away and being replaced with a sense of excitement, a sense of eager anticipation. And I think that, a lot of us have started to stop looking down and start looking up, chin up, with a fierce look at determination and eye of the tiger, just like the kid in that artwork. And I think that is, that's cool to see. I see that happening in the community. I see that happening internally with the team. I think that this is a turning point. So, we're 3 minutes away now from the countdown hitting 0. I could always share a little bit more after we've gotten through that. I figure I better pass the baton back to you, Matt, in case you wanted to do something cool as we count down here.
I mean, I definitely liked hearing and seeing all the stuff you've done, Nate. Now that I'm not as directly involved in all the day-to-day, I often don't get to see or hear a lot of this stuff until I'm on the streams with you, just like our player base, which is fun for me also, because I like being a part of this as a player, first and foremost. But yeah, we have a couple minutes left, and we'll see what happens with the pre-sale. Obviously, there's assuming there's not a quick sellout, there'll be 30 days that the pre-sale is going to be open. Should be till November 17th. So players will have that time to compete for the leaderboard and get their packs. Again, assuming it doesn't sell out before then. And then it will go into the actual release and general sale scheduled for December 5th. So not too far out here. And I know Nate talked a lot about conflicts. I'm sure everyone probably knows what he means and what conflicts are, but that in case anyone was wondering, that's the new mechanism for getting the airdrop cards. And we talked about how exciting I think this round of legendary summoners are, the player designed ones, and those are going to make up the bulk of those airdrop cards. So you're going to need to participate in the conflicts by using your cards and using your unopened packs to contribute. And earn points and to earn those cards. So, you're going to want to make sure you have enough for that also. And you can pick them up on the market too. You don't have to buy them during the pre-sale. But, the more you have right at the beginning, the more points you'll be able to get and the more airdrop cards you'll ultimately be able to get. Yeah, it looks like we have less than a minute now. Thank you, Ron. So maybe we'll take a moment of silence here, let everyone get their DEC or credits and vouchers ready. The vouchers need to be in your in-game wallet, not on the SPS chain wallet. Like I said, I don't necessarily expect a very fast sellout here, so I'm hoping that while that would be nice, it would be great for everyone to have their time to get their packs that they want.
That's a good question, Matt. How would you define the pre-sale as a success? Like a rousing, you'd be stoked if we sold this many packs over the course of the pre-sale.
I don't know. I'd say even if we get to just half of it, it would be great. And I've said before, even if it's a low turnout and a low sale, I think that'll be good because, it'll allow us to really over-deliver. So I'm going to stop talking as the countdown has hit here.
It looks like it. I think the form popped up on my screen. I'm gonna buy some right now.
Oh, I was very stupid. And I did not unlock my keychain.
I better check mine.
Everyone had a chance to get in a little before me. Well, I remember my convoluted password for that. All right, I got my 2000 purchase in. Let's see. Let's head back to the screen here. As usual, I mean, knock on wood, but so far it was a smooth experience for me. Really, again, I just have to say, such a credit to this team, because those of you who have been around a while, which I think is most of you here, remember how things were like, 2 to 3 years ago or more when we would do these pre-sales, and it involved sites crashing, errors, mistakes, problems, and I take the blame for pretty much all of that. And it just goes to show how much better our team is at this. Just how good a job, how smooth it's gone.
Dude, it is smooth as butter. Like when it went down to 0, it was like, bam, it was there. And then while we've been talking, I mean, how many did we sell? Like we're nearing what, 150,000 sold while we're talking, and like not a glitch, not a bump, just like it's just like the packs are disappearing, and it's like it's almost too smooth. You almost like you want that much traffic to cause some vibration, like oh no, the thing is like, to cause the excitement. But it's like, wow, I mean, if I refresh, I wonder how many we've sold so far. Let me see.
Yeah,
Holy
it looks
cow,
like
yeah.
over 150 now. Let me see where's the leaderboard here. View leaderboard. Let's see.
Oh my god, the FOMO's kicking in. I almost want to go buy some more now. Jeez.
So let me look at so I am where am I on the leaderboard? I'm 28th, so I feel like I'm gonna be out of the top 30 here where I wanted to be for the Dawnbringer title. Unless I'm probably gonna have to buy some more. So, I guess I'll have to step up to the plate here at some point. But yeah, it looks like the YGG pool is at the top. I mean, this could all have changed in the last few seconds since I loaded the page. But the leaderboard I'm looking at has YGG pool at the top with over 12,000 packs. We got Hawkspot, Brave Tofu, Brybro, Monster Bank, and A Zircon, and the top 6 spots to design that legendary summoner. Let me see if I can reload this and see if it's changed here. You know what? While we're on the call and we're talking for a sec, Nate, I had a question for you. You guys came up with the titles. Did I don't know if you read Brandon Sanderson at all, but the titles seem to really look like something out of some of his books. I'm a huge Brandon Sanderson fan, so
wow. Okay. No, I mean, I don't think it was a result of Brandon Sanderson books. I'm trying to refresh my memory. I'm looking over here. This is he wrote the
Stormlight Archive is like one of his biggest series, and Mistborn, and in Stormlight they have a bunch of they have like Dawn Singers, they're called, and Dawn Shards. So that's why I think I made a misspelling. I called the title the Dawn Singer, and you were like, no, it's the Dawn Bringer. That's why. And he actually has a new book, literally called Defiant, coming out soon.
Really? Oh, I think I say that on his
pre-ordered.
Google. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
I just thought, even if it wasn't on purpose, I think it's an awesome shout out to a great fantasy author.
Yeah, I think it was completely unrelated, but I'm glad you said there's some sort of correlation for all those fans out there of Sanderson. I think ultimately the concept had been, if you were participating in any way, whether it's in the underground or on the streets, or you're just helping with supplies, or you're getting your weapons ready, you're a rebel. You're taking up the cause. But if you're trying to do it openly, you're doing it overtly. You're literally walking down the streets with a big neon sign saying, "Hey, I am against the Empire. I'm going to bring this puppy down. Let's go." Then you are the Defiant. And if you are one of those mythological heroes of the Rebellion War that everyone looks up to and respects and says, "Whoa, the bards are singing song of your deeds," then you are one of the Dawnbringers. You brought the dawn with you. You brought the dawn into this dark time. So that was the overall thinking behind those titles.
I love it. I think it's great. Even an inadvertent shout out to that is fantastic. I see a message in chat that I am out of the top 30, so I'm gonna I guess have to take some more DEC out of the liquidity pool. I've been providing liquidity for a long time, and I pulled some out for the first time in a while to get my 8 million, and I might have to take another dip into the pool, so to speak, here to get that Dawnbringer title that you were just talking about.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'll be lucky to get a Defiant. I'm falling down the rankings there. Crap, dang it! I almost want people to stop buying packs now.
You can always get them secondhand. That's
true.
always an option. So I mean, it looks like we're getting close. Obviously there's the initial rush and then it slows down. So it seems like we might trickle on to the 200,000 packs sold. I was saying what I would consider a successful sale was half sold over the whole 30 days. And I'm sure as we get towards the end of the sale, if it goes for 30 days, there'll be a little bump up there at the end. So I already consider this a huge success. And like I was saying before, like I actually in some ways want people to buy fewer packs, because that's going to allow, I want to get back to the situation that we had with Untamed and Beta and Alpha, where after they were sold out, everyone felt like crap, I should have bought more packs. That's certainly how I felt for all of those. We lost that with Chaos Legion, unfortunately. I still hope we can get to the point with Chaos Legion at some point where a $4 Chaos Legion pack seems cheap. But I'd like, it wouldn't be a bad thing for Rebellion to be undersold. And then a year from now, it's going to be gone, guaranteed. There's the guaranteed 25,000 burn starting at the general sale every day on December 5th. So, by the end of 2024, Rebellion will be sold out. And it would be fantastic if our community, including myself, felt like I should have bought more during that pre-sale when Matt was going on about stuff, and Call Me Tim was talking about all the cool new card stats and how they designed those, and Nate was showing all the artwork. My hope is that everyone thinks back to this day and was like, "Man, I should have bought more." So
I'm already feeling it, man. I'm already feeling it where there's still packs available. It's like oh man, because this is the only way to get those promo cards. And I feel like people are thinking the wrong way. They're thinking, well, we've had Splinterlands has sold card sets before. We've had promo cards before. I just bought them off the market afterwards. Like, no big deal. But with conflicts, I'm interested in seeing how much of that landscape changes, how much the peer-to-peer marketplace changes just from conflicts alone. Like, are people really going to be that eager to put their cards on the market anymore, knowing that over the long term, over the course of the next year, that card that they just purchased could create some sort of passive benefit every day, every week, every month for the next year? Like, are they going to be quite so eager to put on the market? And if they do, what's the price point? What is it going to be? It's not going to be like previous card sets. I think while the card set is still live and active, before it closes off and it's done for, that cards have the chance of actually possibly appreciating, like, it's crazy to think that that's the case. But and by virtue of the fact that there won't be that many of these promo cards, like there really won't be that many, even if we sell all 500,000 packs.
Yeah, I agree. The conflicts is going to be just one of the many game-changing things about this set, and it's hard to say. Like, I don't know how this is all going to go with the whole economy of the thing, but it generally seems in the right direction overall. Of people need to hold on to these things, and they can buy them on the market, and they can use that to gain the airdrop card rewards. I see Fat Jimmy has a question within big capital letters. A discussion about the new AD mechanics earlier. Oh, airdrop mechanics. Yeah, can you clarify the unlocking of the L cards? I'm not sure I understand the question. Do you guys understand that?
Unlocking of the L cards. Will still be pack quantity sold, burned, dependent.
I think he means the amount of them that are distributed. Like, how are we going to figure out the amount of the airdrop cards that are going to be distributed? Yeah, it's going to be more exact though, because we're gonna look at the amount of packs that have been opened so far, and then like the amount of those cards that would have been in circulation, assuming they were in packs up to that point, and then we're going to fix that number. I mean, we might go a little bit above, and we will fix that as like this is the amount of cards that are going to be given out. Whereas before it was a little difficult because we just had to make it like number of packs based, and we couldn't guess that as exact as we always wanted to ahead of time. So here we're gonna look at the number of packs that were opened, how many of those cards would players have gotten had they been in packs, and we're gonna fix that amount, and you'll know that early on, if not like right away at the beginning of the conflict period. So you'll know exactly how many cards are going to be given out, and then it should have like numbers on what are your chances for getting how many cards based on the points you have.
And sort of related, but not really. But and we don't normally do this. We don't normally take questions off of YouTube stream. It's usually on the Discord. But I do notice, since it's related, Alfred's asking, do we know when we get the promo cards? I believe that we're going to make that claim button possible at the beginning of the general sale. So right now, scheduled for December 5th. And then that's when you'll actually claim any rewards that were, promo card related that were related to what you did during the pre-sale. Does that sound right, Matt?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. Yeah, so the two promo cards for the pre-sale, Mantaroth and the Grimbarnum Smith, you will be able to claim those is planned for December 5th, along with the full release of everything. So like you're not going to be able to get anything other than just the unopenable packs until December 5th. So that's where we're at. Call me Tim. I don't know if you wanted to talk a little bit more about the summoners and some of the ideas we were playing with on the amount of summoners in the set or things like that. I will qualify. I should have said this right at the beginning of the stream, but like everything we're talking about here is subject to change before the general release. So everything we talk about is like what we're thinking about, what we're planning, but we're going to be doing a lot of play testing in the next month and a half. We're going to get a lot of community feedback, and we're not going to hesitate to change something if we feel that it's for the best, just because we talked about it on an earlier stream or something. So, from that perspective, feel free to, shed some light on this stuff.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I think the team formation, team creation is going to just level up significantly in Rebellion with all the summoners that are available. Between, just real choices between, are these summoners the right thing for this particular situation, or existing summoners the right thing for this situation? Very much so, balancing such that all summoners still are very playable and have their place to shine, right? The new summoners are gonna like multi-element summoners are gonna shine in a lot of rule sets where the card pool is heavily restricted, right? But the multi-element summoners also bring in some interesting tactical decisions around things like which fiend. I have two choices of fiend that I can bring in. I want to drop in a 0 mana fiend into this battle. Which one do I drop in? And now I can pick, the one that brings the ability that I want to play. So I think multi-element in and of itself, I think is going to have a lot of tactics that are going to be discovered.
Can I jump in? I did not even think about the fiends. I don't know how with multi-element summoners, like that's just such a big deal right there. Being able to use 2 0 mana cards is big. Wow. Okay,
yeah,
sorry. I just had to say I didn't even think about that.
Or even picking the one that you want, right? Like I during testing would get, okay, well, I got a slot left here. Let me slot in a fiend, and then there's 2. Oh, which one do I want? Which ability do I want? Right. So I think multi-element, especially as people start interacting with the balancing and where certain elements are better or worse at things, right? I think multi-elements just by itself just going to be a big game changer in a lot of situations, right? Not all situations. In some situations, these summoners aren't going to be the best summoners. In a lot of situations, they're not going to be the best summoners. But where they really are going to be the best summoners, they're really going to bring a lot of interesting tactical decisions to players. And then the tactics and the choices, the challenge with Rebellion is there's so much we can do with it. What do we want to do with it? From very specifically targeted effects, like, we're, again, very much so subject to change, but we're playing around with things that feel similar to like direct damage, right? Like, so being able to, before the battle begins, pick a creature and poison it. And that creature might be your own creature, because maybe it's your martyr that you want to be poisoned, or, right, just the things that we can do with it are just have not been possible in the game previously, but the summoners bring that to the table. And then, so each one of those by themselves is I think, going to be game changers for tactical play. And then the legendary summoners that are likely to have a blend of both of these things are going to be very, very interesting to play with. So I'm trying to hesitate. I don't know how much to say and how much not to say, but
No. I mean, I want us to be pretty transparent again with that caveat. Like, let people know what we're thinking. So I mean, like, one thing is, I think we're looking at having more summoners in this set than in previous sets. Is that
yes,
right?
that is correct. Yeah. So right now, the plan is that there will be 5 additional summoners than what we normally would have released. So normally there's 1 summoner per each of the elements, including dragon, not neutral. So we'll have that, and then we're going to have 5 additional summoners. And right now, the plan is that we're going to have some pretty low-costed, aggressively costed, properly costed, balanced multi-element summoners, in addition to the tactics and the choice summoners. And then the legendary airdrop summoners, there's going to provide a lot of summoner choices for players. So should be.
Yeah, I'm like most excited again about the legendary airdrop summoners. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to be excited about, so it's hard to pick a thing. But it's like, in a way, they sort of encapsulate like the most exciting things from previous sets, plus a lot of the most exciting things from this new set all together. And obviously the people who got to design the other legendary summoners, I think they got a fantastic deal, and I hope that this takes it even to another level. Like, these are the must-have cards, and these are the post all over social media when you unload a gold foil version from a pack cards for this set. And just as a reminder, those cards are not going to be in packs up front. So those are airdrop cards, and they are going to be given out through our new conflict system. So if you buy a bunch of packs and you wait to open them until after the airdrop, you'll have a chance to get them in the packs. And if you participate in those conflicts by staking your rebellion cards or unopened packs, you'll be able to get them for free as like they're extra bonuses to that. You'll be able to pick those cards up that way. And I'll remind everyone about a few other things with the conflicts in particular. Obviously, you need vouchers for the pre-sale here, and you will need them for the general sale. But you're also going to need them to participate in the conflicts. And the more you want to participate, the more vouchers you're going to need. We're not going to make it too cumbersome, but that it's just another one of those uses for vouchers. If you want to get special stuff, if you want to get promo things, if you want discounts, that's what vouchers are for. And then there'll be another opportunity to use vouchers to give yourself better chances of getting gold foil versions of the airdrop cards too. So we're really we understand and hear the community, and we see in our own stats sort of the oversupply of vouchers that there's been for a long time. But now we're going to start kicking all the new stuff we've been planning into gear over the next few months, really, including land. And vouchers are going to feature heavily into all of that, as far as, like I said, bonuses, extra stuff, discounts, exactly what they're for. So that's the benefit you get beyond the regular APR for staking your SPS all this time, for committing to the game and to the project. When I design this stuff and I design the economy on like pack costs and all these things, I consider vouchers to be free. And I know a lot of people might say, well, they're not free. They're worth 3.4 cents or whatever it is on the market. But if you stake SPS, you should get them for free. So I look at it like that. That the players who are really committed to this game are getting them for free, and it really only costs money if you don't stake SPS, right? So it's kind of the choice of the players. But that's how I think about them when I'm designing the economy. Is I take into account their market price to figure out how many of them things should cost, and for different benefits, obviously. And usually we go much higher than the current market pricing because we want to give them that extra value. But as far as like the cost, like I see them, and I think players who have SPS staked should see them as the free giveaways that they get for committing to the system. So let's do a refresh here. See where I have fallen down to on the leaderboard. I gotta wait till after we're done with the call, like I said, to take some stuff out of the liquidity pool to get more packs. I don't want to like be futzing around with hardware wallets while I'm trying to talk to all of you. Looks like
I know I had to take stuff out of the liquidity pool for to get enough vouchers. I didn't have enough vouchers.
Yeah, well, like we were just saying, got to get those vouchers, Nate. It sounds like you need more SPS staked. That's what it sounds like to me.
What's funny is a lot of the community have been like, "Oh, we need to like diminish the voucher supply. How much is going out and all this stuff? Too much inflation for vouchers." But like, I feel like just this right here, we already just vacuumed up like all these vouchers, and then it's probably not going to stop there. I bet we come up with a lot of cool ideas over the coming months to where those vouchers, you guys think you have a bunch. You probably don't have enough. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, I had done some math. I think if the pre-sale sells out, it would be 2.5 million vouchers. And then the general sale, with my like estimate of 1.5 million packs potentially being sold over the next year, that would be another 7.5 million vouchers. So that'd be 10 million vouchers in total. I mean, that's roughly the total current supply of vouchers. Now we're talking about over the whole next year. So those will be, constantly resupplied, but also that's not factoring in conflicts and land, and there's going to be some promo cards I'm sure that we're going to do over that time. So my goal again is to make vouchers scarce again. Is kind of the goal here, and where this is the starting point. And there's a bunch of questions about like what the mage wagons might cost. I mean, again, saying I'll let you know what I'm currently thinking, having just spent a little bit of time on this, with the understanding that this could very much change. So if it changes, I don't want to hear people saying, you said this, because I very clearly said this is just what we're thinking, and it may very well change, dramatically in either direction. But I'm thinking around like 10 vouchers or something per mage wagon. Seems to be a nice number where it's easily affordable for most people. Like I said, probably free for most people who are participating and who have for like the normal amount of cards and packs that people will have. But for the whales, the people who have a ton of packs or a ton of cards, I mean, they are going to have to put up more vouchers. Again, those people probably have a lot of SPS staked, so hopefully it's all again free from that perspective. But that's kind of what I was thinking. But we're gonna keep an eye on market pricing and economics and how things are going as we get closer and make a call. But since everyone's asking, that's the current thought process. There was also a question. One thing we didn't talk about also that like directly relates to all of this is the DAO proposal that was passed. So one of yet another thing. There's so many things that are new and innovative with this release that I forget a lot of them. So that's a good thing, I think. So the one of the big things is that the DAO paid $250,000 to the Splinterlands company to help us financially develop the set. That those funds were paid out from the DAO's account yesterday. we took the BUSD. There was like some 70-some thousand in BUSD, and the remainder was USDC. So that just, obviously BUSD is being shut down by Binance, I think, in the next few months or so. So like the DAO no longer has to worry about that. And we just, the Splinterlands company just swapped that out for USDC, so that's been paid. And then in return, the DAO is getting half of all of the revenue that's brought in DEC from the sale. So I mean, so far, with over 200,000 packs sold, that should be over $400,000 worth of DEC, roughly, that's gone to the DAO in the last half hour. I know there were a lot of people saying that we were just trying to scam money out of the DAO, or raid the DAO coffers and things like that. And so my thought was that it should likely be that the DAO would make out extremely well from this whole arrangement. It seemed like the majority of the SPS token holders agreed on passing the thing, and I think we've already seen that to be the case so far in the first half hour. And this still goes for the next year, a little over a year. This is still going to go for, and the DAO is still going to be earning, and it's all going to be gravy at this point. So it's going to put.
We've already surpassed the break even. Like the money's been paid back that we received already, is what you're saying.
Yeah, a lot more. I think at 125,000 packs sold, so that would be not including the bonus packs. And we're already at 180,000 packs, so we've surpassed that quite a lot. And then you factor in, DEC is still a bit under the par value, but still we should have far exceeded that, even with all those caveats. And again, it's only the first 30 minutes, and we have a year more of sales going to the DAO. And I think short term, the company's giving up some revenue, but long term, it's going to be extremely beneficial for us. I mean, we're a huge holder of the SPS token, and obviously, just generally, with how intertwined the DAO and the token is with the game product, the company will do well if the DAO and the tokens do well. So it's purposely giving up some short term revenue for what I think will be a lot more revenue over the long term, and it'll benefit all of us together, which is exactly how this is supposed to work.
Amazing.
I am continuing to refresh here.
I think it's also amazing that I think you and I both thought the same thing. The pre-sale can be considered successful if over the course of the next month we sell 250,000. And I was looking at the same time I was looking at the packs disappearing, and almost exactly somewhere around the 15-minute mark, we went and hit 200,000 sold. That's crazy. First 15 minutes.
Yeah, and I also I'm not even worried so much about it's less about is the pre-sale a success. It's really about is the entire thing a success. I mean, the pre-sale is just one little, relatively short time piece of it. And we're not ultimately going to know if the whole thing, the entire Rebellion set was a success. I think until well after it's sold out. So we're not going to really know until we're into 2025. And that's when I think we'll be able to say, definitely it was a success or not. I mean, obviously there'll be milestones along the way, the release and how everyone receives the new cards and the balance and the new mechanics and tactics, the new airdrop mechanics with conflicts. I mean, all those things, obviously we can get a sense for how it's going. But it's really, like I said before, I want this to be a case similar to our sets prior to Chaos Legion, where you just saw so much FOMO on those last days as it was selling out, and then the resale value and the demand just keeps increasing on the secondary market after it's sold out. So that's when you can really put a stake in the ground and say, yes, we did this correctly, and it's we created value over a long time period for our user base. Like, that is my metric of success, and you need a long time period to really see if that plays out. So we're right at the hour mark for this stream, so I think we're going to have to call it for today. But this is a super exciting, well done to the team, just fantastic job of setting all this up. The tech, everything worked. Knock on wood, it's been fantastic, and now we have the next year or so of awesome stuff continuing to come out before we can officially say yes, we succeeded in building significant value for ourselves, the DAO, and our player base all at the same time. So thank you everyone for being on, and we will. I'll talk to you next Monday.
Yeah.
When chaos reigns and hope is lost, when your darkest days aren't saved by the dawn, we bring the light to help guide the way. We are with you. We are the Rift Watchers. When your enemies have spread far and wide, when you're out of places to run and hide, follow the runes, help is on the way, we stand with you.